Jasper Philipsen winning Milan-Sanremo and De Pan within 3 days of each other. Under-23 world champion Axel Laurens winning a World Tour stage at Volta Catalunya, and our beloved grandson breaking 40-year-old records at E3 Harelbeke make up the 6 fantastic days for the Alpecin de Koenig team. A team that advertises doping for your hair, and one which has taken the space that used to be available to the old quick-step wine lover, that of winning most of the classics on the cycling calendar, so easily that it seems as if the son and grandson of dopers has mutated into Arnold himself in Total Recall, destroying mere mortals. And the rest of the riders have mutated into the former governor, desperately searching for Turbo Man in a dingy, abandoned toy store on the outskirts of Los Angeles. Van der Poel has renewed with the Roodhorst brothers team until 2028 and celebrated with his first victory in the rainbow jersey. A continuation of a crazy 12 months where he has won Milan-Sanremo, Paris Roubaix, the World Road Championships, the Cyclo-Cross World Championships, and E3 Harelbeke. And now he's into the months where he can close the circle by winning the Tour of Flanders, the only big race that escaped him last year after Poggy's show on the Paterberg. Precisely on that same climb, the world champion has humiliated all his rivals in one of the best competitions of the season, and taking revenge on the pursuer Wout Van Aert after his triumph in this competition in 2023. The machinery of Richard Plöger and the Visma Lisa bike outfit had spent thousands of euros searching for the goodness of the stealth preparation. Van Aert and his acolytes carried it out for more than 25 days on Teide, as if they owed publicity to the hotel in the Cañadas del Teide, where the Dutch had put their figures in tune during the winter, in the same way that US Postal took Lance and his gregarios to increase their red blood cells on the slopes of the Canary volcano. A laughable article by the prestigious journalist Alistair Fotheringham in Cycling News was full of praise for the improved preparation of the Visma team, comparing them to the Sky team that won classics with Ian Stannard and Geraint Thomas, those big monsters of the peloton in the middle of the last decade. It was argued that the Belgian bot had spent 75 hours on his bike doing 50,000 meters of climbing, with a legendary 7-hour stint of 5,000 meters of elevation gain, in which he had even beaten Coco Lopez's Mr. Oil record during the ascent of the Granadilla Pass. The Belgian cyclist himself had come down from the volcano to the Belgian plains just the day before the start of the Harelbeke competition. He was copying the format that had worked so well for the dictatorial Anchovy in Galicia and the new Gregario of Gregarios, Matteo Jorgensen in Paris-Nice. He assured everyone that he had prepared better than ever for the Tour of Flanders and Paris-Roubaix, fomenting a hype among his fans on a par with Tramadolito Quintana's Yellow Dream in 2016. But so far, in the first level test against the biggest rival he will face in these competitions, the ridicule has been appalling, and the supposed best preparation in history has failed. Recall that in the video we uploaded analysing Milan-Sanremo 2024, we observed the epic plan of preparation for Van der Poel and Team Alpecin for the season, always according to the words of the inveterate waver son of Steve, Freddie Ovett. The unsuccessful pedalist friend of the grandson didn't stop telling us about the goodness of eating huge amounts of industrial sweets and garbage, and an excessive intake during training of loaded coffees that Van der Poel himself has shown on numerous occasions on his social networks. Not only that, Ovett also told us how the rainbow jersey wouldn't get on his Canyon bicycle without singing Justin Bieber's greatest hits of the past decade. A workout that served to be the decisive one at Milan-Sanremo, holding off Poggy's attack on the fastest climb in history on the Poggio and bringing teammate Philipsen closer to the head of the pack on the Via Roma on his first day of competition of the season. Like a good believer, Van der Poel was generous that day, just as Justin is generous to the beggars living in the vicinity of his mansion. But like the Canadian singer on the murkiest of Californian club nights, when Mathieu goes into baby-eating mode, no one, not even the most well-prepared bot in history, can do anything. I know that many of the people who saw the competition live will tell me Van Aert fell on the Paterberg and he lost the race because of it. But this is an extremely simplistic analysis, far removed from reality, as the whole race saw a really poor performance from Team Visma, who was supposed to be flying. It's already bad luck that Per Strand Hagenes and Tish Benoot also crashed, but the Visma team had a real luxury roster for this competition, and they have simply not been up to the task. There was absolutely no sign of Dylan van Baarle, or the strangely improved Jan Tratnik, who was flying just a month ago at opening weekend, and to whom several YouTube channels dedicated hilarious videos for his notorious performance. And it's not that they weren't there at the end of the competition to help their leader in the final kilometres, it's that they weren't there at 81 kilometres to the finish, when the Dutch Terminator wanted to copy the Slovenian alien in Strade Bianche, attacking on the Tyenberg. An attack that, if it wasn't for the organisation behind the Lidl team and the first-person response of the Belgian bot, could have been the definitive one, leaving us all bored stiff again on our couch. But fortunately, for 30 kilometres we could see the funniest moments of the season, with move from men like Mats Pedersen, Oye Lascano, or the alcoholic lover of Marion Rousse. And at least it didn't turn into a duel of robots. Not too early, at least. As you saw, the key event of the day occurred on the Paterberg with the fall of Wout Van Aert. But in reality, it was a fall for trying to follow the route that Mathieu Van der Poel had followed in the attack, where he destroyed the rest of the rivals. The world champion did not see his rival fall, and it would have been embarrassing if he had stopped to wait for him when he had no teammates, and Bot and his bosses had bragged to the press about his unstoppable form. In fact, the defending champion was so grown up that even though Matteo Jorgensen was still in imperial form, he decided to go after the son of the pigeon pie eater just after the Oude Quermont, in one of the prettiest duels of the season. Alberto Contertrol from Eurosport's Spanish broadcast kept standing up next to the bot, claiming that the dorsal number 1 was a much better time trialist and rouleur than the guy with whom he signed autographs for fans months ago. Big mistake. Van Aert was cooking himself with a vain effort in which he was only 10 seconds behind the world champion, as if he wanted to prove that the Cañadas del Teide were worth more than Gummy, the popular Pink song by Justin Bieber. The cyclist who had cut his hair especially for the occasion only had to impose just a little more pace to knock out the yellow bee. And for almost an hour, against only the wind, he managed to win for the first time E3 Harelbeke, and with a very wide margin, the largest in 40 years, over the bot and the winner of a monument, Jasper Stuyven, a cyclist who is making a notorious season at the tender age of 32 in the improved Radio Shack of the biggest doper in the history of cycling, Kim Anderson. This is what cycling has been made for, what it's been waiting for. To see how the guy who fills his belly with coffees gives Quermont beers to his fans, just like his idol Bieber throwing his underpants to his fans. A show which is sometimes fun. For some.